months now, there's been an onslaught of bleak news, and today was no exception. Thousands more workers stood down, this time from Crown Resorts, following Treasury estimates that 1.4 million Australians will be out of work by June. It's hard to hear things like that and feel anything but stressed.
There's a lot of fear in the community and stress, and also I think this is exacerbated by the measures that are necessary to actually deal with the risk from the virus.
A new poll shows the biggest source of Aussie stress right now is actually not seeing family, shared by 77% of Aussies. 60% of us are worried about not being able to pay bills, while nearly half of us fear losing our jobs. 38% fear losing our homes. Just as hospitals have been prepping for more COVID-19 patients, mental health services are reconfiguring to deal with their new reality.
We not only need to build the strength and capacity of the mental health system, we need to do things very differently. And already we're seeing with telehealth, with expanded digital mental health, there are modern 21st century ways of strengthening the system.
In the wake of this crisis, Beyond Blue has launched a new free service dedicated to coronavirus issues. From loneliness to financial worries to supporting healthcare workers and essential service providers. But will it be enough to fend off what some experts warn will be a global mental health crisis?
Julia Gillard is the chair of Beyond Blue and she joins us now. Julia, what are some of the specific problems with mental health that you're seeing at the moment?
Well, we are seeing surging demand, and of the things that people are raising with us, isolation and loneliness, so it's a big one, financial worries, job losses, where's the economy going to be, how am I going to cope, that's a big one. And since Easter, we've increasingly had people talk about feeling exhausted. So I think the longer this goes on, the more it's sort of pressing on people, and we're starting to see that flow through now.
Are you hearing from people that are talking now about mental health issues and how they're feeling that have never experienced a mental health issue before?
Yes, we are. I mean, we went into this with around 2 million Australians having an anxiety condition and 1 million having a battle with depression. But, you know, we are, of course, seeing so much pressure around that more people are finding themselves in some form of anxiety, sad feelings, maybe even acute distress. The message we're trying to get through to people is don't just stay like that. One of the keys to making sure that we all stay mentally well is jumping on problems early and getting some support. So we do want people to reach out to any form of support, but particularly we are there as Beyond Blue with a specific coronavirus wellbeing support service. It's online, you know, information, people you can chat to, but there's also a dedicated telephone line where you can speak to a mental health professional.
Julia, experts are talking about long-term impacts on mental health once this is all over. How can we begin to plan for something like that?
Well, we were already in a very big conversation about what we could do to improve our mental health system. You may have seen that the federal government and state governments have started talking about major reform agendas. I think our experience from this means that we need to accelerate that. We've got to do better generally, and we've got to do better for the people who come out of this needing support. But interestingly, I think we're learning a few things during this time too. We're certainly learning more about telehealth and how we can find new ways of getting support to people when they need it. And Beyond Blue's been advocating for quite some time now that we needed to really make a move into telehealth to expand the range of services out there. And this has really turbocharged that new world for us.
I suppose you wouldn't be seeing this at Beyond Blue because it's kind of the opposite of the problem, and I don't deny the huge mental health concerns that we're facing and will face from here, but do you think there might be a positive through this, that a lot of people might find their mental health improved as a result of less pressure in their lives, more time with their family if they're lucky enough to live with them, all of those sorts of aspects of life?
Yeah, I do. I think one thing that may well come out of this, and it is a phenomenon that people in mental health talk about post-traumatic experiences, is that people are reminded of what's really important in life. You know, when you're at a time like this, some of the things that you might get worried about at other times just seem sort of unimportant now, and the things that you're focused on are really the core things to your well-being and your family's well-being. So there's something quite centering about that, and I hope that people are experiencing that and also take that with them as our world opens back up again.
And Julie, one last thing before you go. No doubt you would have seen Malcolm Turnbull's comments recently about how politics sent him into an abyss of depression to the point where he was even considering or having suicidal thoughts. The ex-Prime Minister's Club, it's a small club. It's gotten a little bit bigger over the last 10 years, but how did you navigate that tricky period in your life?
Well, I mean, everybody's different, and, you know, circumstances in politics aren't the same. Some features of what happened to Malcolm I can have a fair old insight into, but obviously some things were different for him. For me, I really needed, when I came out of it, a time of retreat, of kind of getting physically fit again. You don't realise how tired you are until you stop. And then I did find the very process of writing my book a cathartic one. It helped me process the experience and work it all through. So I hope that the book has played the same role for Malcolm.
Julia Gillard, thank you very much for your time tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And if that story's brought up any issues for you, help is available, as you heard from Julia Gillard there. You can call Beyond Blue anytime, 1300 22 4636.